GMGP. J Rich, get the music.
I wasn't even ready.
The new intro. GMGP. It is Tuesday. Damn, I'm about to say it's Tuesday, January 13th, 2026. Y'all decided to wake y'all ass up with myself and my dog, Jordan Richards. Jay, I gotta put you on the screen because you got me looking bad early in the morning, bro.
I'm my God.
Yeah, we got another minute to kind of BS. I'm over here scratching my ass, doing whatever, and the show's on. Lead us in, Jay Rich.
Welcome, everybody, to Wake Up with Ray and Jay. It is Tuesday, January 13th, Ray. You know, I cut that new intro because you wanted me to, and what do you know? I was not ready for the first rendition. But thank you to everybody for tuning in. Ricardo, Jim Bro, Matt Jones, Cole World, TDE, Alex Hammond. And I even think I saw Jag in the intro. What?
Oh, man.
Jag, my boy, here in the building. Jay Sully, Ray.
I got you,
Do
Jay.
you want to talk to the people with where we're at for this show?
GMGP is Tuesday, January 13th, 2026. Y'all decided to wake up, as Jay said, with myself and my brother from another mother, Jordan Richards. You can find him on X at your boy Jay Richards. Wake Up with Ray and Jay every Tuesday and Thursday right here on the channel. We got a lot to talk about, Jay. A lot to talk about. We are used to coming on right on Mondays, right after all the action has finished. But man, it feels like we had football all damn weekend, from the college football playoff matchups, NFL wild card weekend, NFL coaching news, drama, NFL draft drama. We got a lot to talk about. And yes, Jimbo's in the building. I see Ricardo in here. Cole World TD, All City 617, Jay Sully in the building. Patrick, Jay. Yeah, we're working on a new intro. So I was like, all right, we're going to cut the old one out. We'll go right into the damn show, and neither of us were ready. But, Jay, how was your weekend, man? Did you enjoy some ball?
Yeah, it was good, man. Lots of good football from the college football playoff all the way through the weekend. It was funny because, obviously, Saturday's games in the NFL were phenomenal. Sunday started off really hot. Then it was kind of a pretty good game in Philly. And then we had the generational stinker Sunday night and Monday night. So it started off hot, and it was really good, and kind of ended on a somber note. We'll see how it all ends. But yes, I had a great weekend of football. My Patriots are in the divisional round, Ray, and it's setting up for potentially Allen versus May, number 3 in the AFC Championship game. And you know, I do not care who wins that game. I will be excited for whoever heads to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one, man. We got a lot to discuss. You know, I took a lot of heat, Jay Rich. I've taken a lot of heat this season. Every time we've done one of those re-rank the 24 class, re-rank the quarterbacks, anytime I got that Caleb Williams up high, people dogging your boy out. Looks pretty damn good, huh?
It was a close one, though.
That Caleb looks pretty damn good, doesn't he?
It was a close one.
It was close. Almost doesn't count. Almost doesn't count, right? He got it done. Bears got it done. Caleb Williams balling out like the number 1 overall pick out of USC that he was a couple of years ago. I try to tell the folks. I told you they were going to beat Green Bay. I told you.
Yeah,
Jordan Loveland and them.
I picked Chicago.
I
We're
told
good.
you they were going to get it
Wasn't
done.
looking so
Rich.
good, but they got it done.
Wasn't looking good, but we got a lot to talk about today. We are going to go through the games that we had this past weekend, NFC and AFC. Not going to preview the divisional round games today. We'll do more of that on Thursday. We'll definitely talk through the college football playoff stuff, but we got to start off with some head coaching news, Jay, from the last time that we were on the show. If it's your first time tapping in, you see the people in the chat, Jimbo, Matt in the building. We had somebody here for the first time. They said they were on the big rig, Jay Rich, listening to the show. So shout out to you as well. I can't find the comment right now, but it was in there earlier. Engage with the people in the chat. Hit the thumbs up button, like the stream, subscribe to the new channel. Almost at 1,000, Jay Rich. We've done it on the new channel for a week. We're almost at 1,000 subscribers, so thank you. But talk about your boy Mike McDaniel. Mike McDaniel got canned from Miami, and this was after our last show. So a little bit of older news, but new for us. We haven't discussed it, and he's already receiving head coaching offers right now, or interviews, excuse me, not offers, but head coaching interviews right now. I believe the Cleveland Browns are going to interview Mike McDaniel.
Yep.
A lot of praise for his offensive creativity and the things that he was able to do during his time when he had a healthy quarterback, when he had Tyreek Hill and Waddle both playing well, led the Dolphins to the playoffs. Not a lot of success. Hard to do that when the quarterback is Skylar Thompson in one of those matchups, I believe, versus Buffalo a few years ago. But talk about this opening in Miami now? And then where do you think Mike McDaniel best fits?
Yeah, so this is a really interesting one. And I think the other conversation that we're going to need to have is this the last head coaching firing, right?
Yeah,
Because there's
yeah.
still potential ones that are on the horizon. And I think, you asked me last week, well, is it normally take this long? Why are we not seeing some more guys get hired? A lot of the good candidates are still in the playoffs now. Jesse Minter and the DC out of Green Bay. I forget who his name is off the top of my... Oh, Jeff Hafley. That's who it is.
Hafley.
Those two guys will be heavily interviewed this week now that both their teams have been eliminated. So those are two big names that have been talked about by a lot of teams that want to interview them. But McDaniel was surprising, right? And as soon as McDaniel got fired, the conversation started of, does Harbaugh want to end up in Miami? Because that's the only reason why it seemed like he was going to get fired. There wasn't anybody that the Dolphins were interested in. They wanted to hold on to McDaniel. And then Harbaugh gets fired. And all of a sudden they're like, well, if Harbaugh's fired, we should probably fire McDaniel.
Right.
See if we can make a run at John Harbaugh. Now, he's had head coaching interviews with Cleveland and Atlanta so far. We know that Atlanta is still waiting on Clint Kubiak, who I believe they had a virtual interview with this week, but we will probably see them interview him whenever Seattle is finally done with their playoff run. And then I believe McDaniel also had an OC interview with Detroit, right? So Detroit, obviously, offense struggled mightily from what we saw when they had Ben Johnson. Getting in a Mike McDaniel would be very beneficial for them, but it does seem like McDaniel is still trending and hoping for a head coaching opportunity in the NFL rather than opting for a premium OC position. We expect Philly to open up. We know that Detroit is an open spot, and there should be some other good ones as well. And then John Harbaugh, still waiting on his final decisions. He's taken some phone calls with a lot of teams. He's watched tape on Cam Ward, apparently. Watched tape on Jackson Dart. We know he's very interested in the Giants. I'm surprised he's interested in the Titans unless they give him a lot of money. But he's also been reportedly asking for, heaven and earth to be brought in, $20 million salary. I believe it was like $10 million. Oh, it was apparently a lot. Apparently he wanted a big salary. He wanted a big budget for his staff. And all that kind of stuff. So we'll see what happens, but apparently he's going to narrow down his teams to 3 or 4 and take formal interviews with all of those teams. But yeah, the Falcons are in play, the Titans are in play, the Giants are in play, and potentially even the Browns could be in play as well. But we'll just have to wait and see what happens with the Green Bay Packers. We kind of fully expect them and Matt LaFleur to figure out a deal with his last year of his contract. And then, of course, the big domino after last night is what happens with Mike Tomlin. Because I forget who tweeted it out. It might have been Sam from PFF, or actually formerly a PFF. He was the one who said, how funny would it be if the Baltimore Ravens hired Mike Tomlin after he got fired and the Steelers hired John Harbaugh, and they swapped teams after being in the respective franchises for the past 18 and 19 seasons. So lots still to happen with the NFL coaching circle.
We weren't going to start with the Pittsburgh Steelers, but let's, since we're in the realm of coaching moves and firings and hirings, what are your thoughts on Mike Tomlin and his future with Pittsburgh? I know that we talked about how, I'm going to use big of an accomplishment it was this year to get that team to the playoffs the way that they were constructed, but nobody's giving out contract extensions and millions of dollars, and I don't think the expectation for anybody that's a fan of the Pittsburgh Steelers is to just limp into the playoffs and get smacked and sent home. Like, that's not a successful season. No matter what we thought about that team's true chances of winning a Super Bowl, I don't think a lot of people really believe that an offense led by Aaron Rodgers at 42 is as good as he played this year for his age. Led by Rodgers, it's really Jaylen Warren. You're scamming receptions to Kenneth Gainwell. DK got paid a bunch of money. He doesn't do a lot of everything, and you're throwing the ball to a receiver who's smaller than me, Jay Rich and Calvin Austin. It's probably not going to end well. But what are your thoughts about Mike Tomlin and his tenure in Pittsburgh? I didn't think that the Ravens would fire John Harbaugh. 18 years as the head coach. Mike Tomlin's been in Pittsburgh for what, 17 years? 15 years? 19 years?
Yeah, 19 years.
I mean, is it just this? It just feels like the Steelers have been trying to hold together this iteration of the Ben Roethlisberger, Antonio Brown, like pieces of that team. Like defensively, Hayward was there throughout all of that. TJ Watt was on the roster through that. You've got, it just feels like it's still that version. They have not had a full reset at the quarterback position. Think about that. When they drafted Ben Roethlisberger, I believe in 2005, out of Miami of Ohio, Jay Rich,
crazy.
They picked another quarterback. It was Kenny Pickett, and that was the wrong choice. but it seems like that they have not had stability at that position since Ben Roethlisberger retired. What do the Steelers do with Mike Tomlin?
Well, that's the number one question, right? Is like, what do they do? Mike Tomlin's been there for so long now, but he's also lost 7 straight playoff games.
Yep.
Right? Which I believe is the second longest streak in NFL history. And so it's like, I understand he's a great coach. We give him credit for what he did with Aaron Rodgers and with this team that we know is not overly talented, but they also have the most expensive defense in the NFL, and the defense was god-awful. You brought up TJ Watt, who's obviously been a staple on their defense for years. He was asked, what does this team need to do? And he literally said, I haven't had that answer for a long time, so don't ask me. So even at this point, it seems like TJ Watt is frustrated with what's going on in Pittsburgh. It's the most expensive defense in the NFL. Offensively, they're a joke. Certain games, Aaron Rodgers kind of make it happen, but we saw them play great defense this week, and they weren't able to move the ball, right? They weren't able to find success. When they got into the red zone, they weren't able to score touchdowns. Guys just weren't open, and even when they were open, they weren't making plays.
Whose fault is that? Is that Tomlin's fault? It's Arthur Smith calling the plays, right?
I will say this, right? When you are a Mike Tomlin level of coach, when you're a John Harbaugh level of coach, like, you have so much more pull in an organization than a first or second year head coach does. It's not at the same level of the GM says, these are the players I'm giving you. Make it work with these players. I believe this collection of players can be successful. Mike Tomlin's had a huge say in this roster. He had a huge part in trying to bring in Brandon Ayuk and DK Metcalf. And DK Metcalf was a disaster, right? Like, he hasn't been good. So we can blame Arthur Smith for the scheme and things of that nature. But in the same time, like, Mike Tomlin's the coach that brought him in. And he needs to take some responsibility for that, because when you've been a head coach in the NFL for 18, 19 seasons, you've seen some different OCs. You've seen the NFL change offensively. You know that it's a different game than you once played, but it's kind of the same game that Tomlin's playing, right? Strong defense, run the ball effectively. But when they can't run the ball, they can't win football games, right? And so that's where I think you just have to look at Tomlin and say, yeah, you could blame Arthur Smith. You could fire him. But in the same way the Ravens said, you know what? Like, you can't just blame Greg Roman for this. Not Greg Roman. I always go to Greg Roman with Baltimore. You can't just blame Todd Monken for this, right?
Right.
So you have to look at the head coach and say, you need to be capable to fix things, turn things around. It's no different than Sirianni in Philadelphia. So I do think ultimately all these things and all these issues have to fall at the feet of Mike Tomlin, because they aren't issues of this year. They've been issues for years and years and years. And like you said, it's ever since they lost Ben Roethlisberger, they just simply haven't had an offense that can successfully win them football games for years. And I think that's the big problem, is that, the commenter here is bringing up Matt Canada. Another terrible OC hire that they brought in for a few years. They just haven't found a guy that we believe in. I think the sad part is we've seen teams do this with kind of these no-name OCs when there's always well-known, reputable, and successful OC candidates on the market. Just maybe they don't want to pay those guys what they're worth. I'm not sure, but I think ultimately it has to fall at the feet of Mike Tomlin.
I'm looking at the chat. People are saying Arthur Smith. They're bringing up Matt Canada. He also retained Canada for multiple years. Tomlin's coordinator hires are also suspect. Yeah, you saw D'Amico Ryans. Jag said in the chat, D'Amico Ryans said, wear him out, run the ball, wear him out. And they absolutely did that. Let's quickly, Jay, rank the openings. Top 5 job openings right now, and I believe there are more than 5. You got the Raiders. You've got the Jaguars. I mean, not the Jaguars, the Ravens. You've got the Cardinals, the Browns, the Giants, the Dolphins. Who else needs a head coach in the NFL right now? Potentially the Steelers. Let's say this job comes open. And how would you rank these head coaching openings right now across the NFL? Top 5 spots.
I think number 1 has to be the Baltimore Ravens, just because you have Lamar Jackson, right?
I agree.
If for no other reason,
I agree.
You have Lamar Jackson. So that for me is number 1. At number 2, though, I'm going to go a bit off the beaten path, because I do think the right head coach and this situation could be very good. I'm going to be taking the Raiders at number 2.
Okay.
I think that with all the cap space they have, their roster is atrocious. But if you do it the right way, I think you can turn this team around relatively quickly. At number 3, I'm going to put the Atlanta Falcons. I think the
Okay.
Atlanta Falcons have a great roster. I think they're on the come up. I don't think Raheem Morris necessarily needed to be fired, but I do think that with the pieces they currently have, I would prefer the Atlanta Falcons over my number 4 team, who would be the New York Giants. I like Jackson Dart. I don't love the team, though. I don't love that they retained Joe Schoen, so I think that's a big problem for me if I'm a head coach looking at that situation. They're keeping Joe Schoen, who's done an okay job. He's taking credit for the Dart pick when really that was more of a Dayball pick, and he's obviously not going to be there.
What's a Dayball pick? Yeah.
And then at number 5, oh man,
Pittsburgh's
Miami,
open.
Arizona.
Pittsburgh's open. Pittsburgh's open. Pittsburgh's open.
If Pittsburgh's open, honestly, I may still lean Cleveland. Cleveland's issue is that I don't believe in upper management and ownership, but I think outside of that, they have the cap space, they have the picks, the roster's fine. You do have to deal with the whole Watson effect. I don't like Miami, and I hate Arizona, and I have no interest in Tennessee. All 3 of those jobs, like Tennessee doesn't have a lot of cap space. Cam Ward is fine. The roster's not very good. Arizona, kind of same situation. You have to deal with Kyler Murray and his whole contract. Like, if they were keeping Kyler, maybe it'd be fine. And then Miami, it's the same situation. It's Tua, it's the contract, it's the restructuring. There's just a lot of things to figure out there. So I think Tennessee, Miami, and Arizona are my bottom 3. How do you feel about that for the top 5?
I don't. There's not a lot that I disagree with you. I think Baltimore is by far the best spot. It's not even close to me. You get Lamar and the weapons and the roster. You look at the division, and I don't even think that the Browns.
It's tough.
I don't really know. If you're saying Pittsburgh's going to have a new team, they don't have a damn quarterback. The Browns have nothing, and then you've got Joe Burrow in Cincinnati, where offensively they're great. But I'm looking around, and I'm saying Arizona, hell to the no. I want no part. I mean, somebody will take it. It's one of 32 jobs in the world, but I don't think that's a good spot. Tennessee, like you said, Cam Ward is encouraging. Outside of that, I don't think I want to deal with that one. Miami, you got to go up against Allen and May twice a year. You've got no chance in hell in Miami. Yep. I would rank them Baltimore 1. I am with you with the Raiders 2. I think that's a really good spot. And I know a lot of people are going to point to the AFC West being a tough division.
It'll be tough for sure.
But it still doesn't feel real, right? The Chargers feel like they have some real issues in Los Angeles. The Broncos, number 1 seed, not taking anything away with them. They're underdogs at home in the divisional game. And then you've got Kansas City, who's going through this rebuild right now. So I'm not saying the Raiders are going to jump in and overtake that. You feel good about Mendoza at the start, at the top of the draft. You've got one of the best tight ends in football. You've got a young running back in Ashton Genty, and maybe a partial owner in Tom Brady that can pull some strings to help get some stuff together. So I'd go Raiders at 2. I think the Giants would be 3rd for me. You've got your quarterback.
Okay.
Defensively, you've got a lot of nice pieces on the defensive side of the ball, especially on your defensive front. Giants and then you've got Neighbors, and we'll see what they do with Wan'Dale Robinson, Scatterboo, Tyrone Tracy, your running game. I'd have the Giants probably at number 3, Jay. And then after that, I think you can go a multitude of directions. If Pittsburgh's open,
Atlanta probably be up there.
Atlanta would be next, and then you've got the
Arizona, Tennessee, Miami, or your bottom 3.
Yeah, they'd be down there a little bit. Atlanta would definitely be in there. We'll see how Matt Ryan does, but you've got your running game in place. You've got a receiver. You've got a young quarterback that you can try to fix and rehab. And I think the Browns, from an asset allocation standpoint, they've got draft picks. There's no stability at the quarterback spot. And as you said, I'm a little concerned about upper management. I'd probably still have Cleveland with the bevy of picks that they have, even though it didn't work out to be as high as they thought some of those picks would be from Jacksonville. I think they would still be in the mix. And we'll see if Green Bay does get it done with Matt LaFleur. I mean, if that opens up, you're talking about a no-brainer spot. There's another one right there that would be right after Baltimore. It'd be number 1 or number 2 next to the Baltimore Ravens. So still a lot of stuff that needs to take place over the next couple of weeks. I'm sure we will get. Who's the first domino to fall? Is it Harbaugh? Is everyone waiting to see where Harbaugh lands before other things start to fall into place?
I think to some extent, yes.
Okay.
I think Harbaugh is a big piece. I think Halfley and Minter are both big pieces and need to get their interviews done. And then the last one is Kubiak, right? I don't know how many teams are in on Kubiak and want to get Kubiak in the building, but I'm sure he will be getting a lot of interview requests as well, right? So we'll see what happens with them. And then both Chris Shula and I think a Rams passing game coordinator also have head coaching opportunities that have been requested.
Hold on, Kevin said Mendoza at 1 is hilarious. Kev, you watch every day, so I'm going to give you shit because I know your family. You got to talk to me about this one, Kev. I was with you weeks ago where I'm like, I don't know. What has Mendoza done to make you think he shouldn't be the number 1 pick? What hasn't he done? Jay Rich, you were looking at his touchdown to not interception ratio to incompletion ratio throughout the playoffs. Where's that Mendoza at right now?
He has 8 touchdowns and 5 incompletions in 2 playoff games on, I think, like 38 attempts, which is ridiculous.
How are we I updated my NFL draft board, right, with all the position players. You know who's the number 1 player on the board, Jay Rich?
Fernando Mendoza. Like he's done enough. I'm sold. I'm sold as a Raiders fan. I want him in Las Vegas. I think he can be more than competent enough at the quarterback position to lead that franchise. I'm a fan. I am completely sold on the skill set. I love his mental makeup. He's worth the shot, Jay Rich. I've seen worse quarterbacks get drafted in round 1 than what I've seen out of this guy, who's completely turned around a team of, I don't want to say cast-offs, but not your highly touted, highly sought-after players. How is this guy not the number 1 overall pick right now? No, he 100% is. And Ray, just like I wanted to ask you this, how would you compare the evaluation of Cam Ward to Mendoza? Because Cam Ward has all the physical tools, and we like what Cam Ward can do, but Mendoza has by far exceeded what we saw from Cam Ward, even playing at his best. And people can say he's just some quarterback, more of a one-read and run kind of guy, but it's so hard to argue how good Mendoza's playing at some of the best defenses in the NFL, in college football. Like that, for me, it's like you could say he's not the most talented quarterback, and that's fine. But every time I watch him play, I'm like, he just seems like a good quarterback. Maybe not a great quarterback, but he seems like a good quarterback in the right system, with pieces around him, can be successful at the NFL level. And he's dominating in college football right now, like completely dominating.
Coordinator's going to matter, right? The coordinator's going to matter. The head coach, hopefully they don't put any junk around him. I feel comfortable with him. Kev knows I love him. I feel comfortable with Mendoza. I think he's the best player in the draft. You could talk about talent and who's got the most upside, and if potential is reached, it could be Arvell Reese. It could be Sonny Styles. Yeah. It could be Jeremiah Love. I feel very good if my team drafts Mendoza that we don't have a bust on our hands, but we'll see how that plays out, Jay. Let's talk about another quarterback who, did he do enough, Jay? We come on this show, it feels like every week, and we say, did he do enough? And
ain't no
weird.
we.
Did he do enough in a loss? Let's not forget that they lost the game. But Rams 34, Panthers 31. Jay Rich, Matthew Stafford. Did he? I'm sure those MVP votes are already in, but did he solidify it with this performance when he said, "Let's go rip their hearts out. Let's go in this thing." Devontae Adams and Puka Nacua and my Rams offense, they won the game. This was a lot closer than everybody thought. I mean, this was a 10.5 point spread. Road game. I don't give a damn if it's the Panthers. It's a road game. It's the playoffs. It was not easy for the Rams in this one, but ultimately Matthew Stafford got it done. He had his boy Devontae Adams back, who was playing well in the game. Puka Nacua was out there. Defensively, they're making life, hell for Bryce Young in and out, but Bryce was right there dealing, trying to keep his team in it. 31-34. What are your big takeaways here? And honestly, I want you to is it how the Rams played and won, or how Carolina kept pace with the Rams to give you some confidence in what they're building moving forward? One interesting nugget from the game that I think absolutely impacts Carolina's offseason plans, left tackle Ike Ekwonu torn patella tendon in the game.
And did he tear his patella?
He tore his patella tendon in the game. And this was a team that, a lot of people say defense. They need to attack defense in the draft. I've also heard, I talked to my boy DP, Damian Parson. He thinks they need another playmaker on the outside, a damn playmaker at tight end, a dynamic running back. You heard Rico Dowdle say, I'm out of here. They only gave me the ball 5 times. I'm a back-to-back 1,000-yard rusher. I'm up out of here after this season. They need a lot, but this loss at left tackle might force their hand, and they've got to go do something else in the draft. What are your thoughts coming out of this game?
So number one, it's the Rams defense, once again, just not playing at the level we thought they could come playoff time, right? They obviously have to go to Chicago next weekend. Now 6-4 on the road, 5-4 in the regular season, not very inspiring. It took a Matthew Stafford masterclass at the end. Now, granted, Carolina's defense in that final series was not good enough, especially because they were just playing off coverage. But Matthew Stafford literally was just dissecting them. That final touchdown pass was ridiculous. Great play from quarterback to tight end to win that game. But yeah, I mean, was I overly impressed with the defense? Not really. And I'm curious to see how they're going to play against Chicago, because Chicago, even though they may start slow, we know they finish very, very fast, and Caleb Williams gets stronger and stronger as game goes on. And more importantly, Ben Johnson figures out how to beat teams throughout a game plan and adjust. I think the Rams are kind of a team that falls asleep in second halves, and they expect to just win these games. And we've seen that rear its ugly head a couple times for them. But off the top, you asked me, has he done enough? Has Bryce Young
that's the question.
Done enough?
Has he done enough?
Get an extension?
Well, they already said they're picking up the 5th-year option. They already.
Oh, they did?
They already.
That's not good.
That came out. Chat. Correct me if I'm wrong. That came out before the game. I believe it came out early Sunday morning. Check it out. Chat. Double check me on this. I'm almost positive they said they are picking up his 5th-year option, so you could go ahead and move past that.
Well, whether they pick up the option or not, is he going to get that extension, right? He's extension eligible now.
Yes, he is.
I personally don't think he's going to get it. And if he does get an extension, it will be a short-term extension. It will not be a long-term extension for Bryce Young, and I doubt it comes this season.
They're saying not official. They're saying
fake news GQ over here.
Damn.
So all your hopes for that extension are dead. So to answer your question directly, no, Bryce Young did not play well enough to earn an extension. He did not win a playoff game. They got there with a losing record. They lost their last 2 games going into it. They were competitive in this game, but they also beat the Rams already in the season. So we knew they could be competitive in this game against this particular team. But no, I don't think Bryce Young deserves an extension. He hasn't played well enough. And if they decide to extend him, I think it will be a huge mistake from the Carolina Panthers.
How did he play in this game? How did he play?
Fine.
He was fine?
21 for 40 is not great. I mean, it's fine.
Throwing the ball 40 times is the issue, right? That I don't know what happened to the run game. What happened to this dominant Panthers run game?
They couldn't run
I
the
don't
ball.
think you want it. We looked at Bryce. You don't want him throwing the ball 40 damn times in a game, Jay Rich. And I'm not. We'll save the completion percentage talk for later. I think they are going to pay him. It may. And I talked to DP about this. I see him in the chat. They may end up having buyer's remorse. They may end up having buyer's remorse.
I think you have to wait to extend him.
You're going to bring in Mac Jones? Like Mac Jones takeover for Bryce? No, that's.
What do you mean? No, that's like that would be a huge upgrade.
Stop.
It would be.
Stop.
How is not a and Ray? You know what's sad?
Stop.
Is I bet you Mac Jones comes cheaper than Bryce Young. I bet you Mac Jones comes cheaper than Bryce Young.
Probably, but you're going to be
that point,
you're going to be in the same boat from a different perspective, because they're still not, neither of them are elite quarterbacks. So
but here's the problem for me is if you extend Bryce Young this offseason, you have 2 years till that money hits. In 2 years, you may want him gone, because that's exactly what happened with Tua, right? Tua was extension eligible. They extended him. And obviously they had the 5th-year option, but if they extend him early, they're going to have buyer's remorse by the time the money actually hits. And that's where DP's saying this is Tua all over again. Limited QB and arm talent.
I hear you and DP. Limited. What else? What is the other option?
You let him loose, bro. Like, I don't know why you keep arguing this. If your quarterback can't win you football games when it matters, why on earth are you paying him $50 million? Whether it's the Arizona Cardinals, the Miami Dolphins, right? Even to some extent, the Packers, I'm sure, don't wish they didn't pay Jordan Love all this money. Trevor Lawrence had a great regular season. What happened in the playoffs? He ran into Josh Allen, an MVP level quarterback, and that's going to happen. But if you don't have even... I think we would say this. Is he Trevor Lawrence level of quarterback? I think the answer is no. Is Bryce Young a Jordan Love level of quarterback? I think the answer is no. Right? And so from that perspective, we already have quarterbacks that we view as slightly overpaid, but still good quarterbacks. Trevor Lawrence, Jordan Love, maybe even Kyler Murray to that extent. But Kyler Murray probably falls closer into the Bryce Love camp of fine quarterback, but really not going to get it done for us when it matters. I think that's why, you may pick up the option, give him those 2 more years, but I think you have to wait to extend him because until that time is up, you want to get as much information as you can because he definitely hasn't shown enough right now that he's deserving of that extension in the way that Herbert was deserving and Burrow was deserving right off the bat.
I've asked one question. Where do they go? They're not in the range of draft. You draft Ty Simpson? You want to draft Todd Simpson?
But Ray, you wait till 27, and you got what? Probably 5 different quarterbacks that could be first rounders. Could be options.
You know who's not trying to hear that? Dave Canales. Let's wait till 27.
Well,
I hear y'all, but what
because you could draft a quarterback in 27, and Bryce Young could still play out for you 27, and you could start that quarterback in 28. You could do that.
Okay.
That's the realistic, probably smart path, because then you're not paying Bryce Young and you're developing a quarterback for a year to be your future quarterback.
Well, let's talk about the Jags. They lost, another great wild card game. This one was really good. First game on the slate on Sunday. Jay, I thought Jacksonville pulled it off. I picked them on BR. I picked the Jags to beat the Bills. They go down there and score. I'm like, oh, they got it. And then Josh Allen, man, this dude is inevitable. He's just, I don't know who he's throwing to. Brandon Cooks, Tyrell Shavers.
Hell yeah.
Gabe Davis tears his ACL in the game. He's throwing the ball to Khalil Shakir like it's Jamar Chase. Had 12 damn receptions in the game. James Cook, nothing. Travis Etienne going off. Josh Allen just finds a way. Tush push for 15 yards into the end zone. Hell, we get to the one QB sneak. Josh Allen be damn touchdown. This team is literally the cockroach of the NFL this year. You got them down. You think they're out. You've stepped on them. You lift your foot up and the damn thing's crawling up your leg and you're screaming, Jay Rich, because it's still alive. And that is Josh Allen. He's carrying this Bills team. And now they are favored on the road against the Broncos. But let's stick inside of this game.
Okay.
Is this Bills team? And you can look at what's left, Jay Rich. You can look at the big 4. Allen, Nix, May, and who's the other quarterback we got left in the AFC? Stroud. He's by far the best quarterback left on the AFC. By far, he's the best quarterback left in the AFC. Talk about Buffalo. You can talk about Liam Cohen. Great season for the Jags. Love that lady. Don't know her name, but man, positive. I need somebody to give me a pep talk like that, right? After I get off this damn thing with you, I need someone to encourage me to continue throughout my day. Talk about the game, Jay.
It went exactly as I expected it to go, honestly.
Oh, of course it did.
But Ray, it's for every reason that you picked the Jaguars. We talked about it. I was 100% with you. The Jaguars should win this game. The problem is much like when I saw the Patriots go up 21-0 against these Buffalo Bills at home, I just knew that there is still the MVP on the other side of the football field.
Yeah. And
he will always give them a chance. Now, Trevor Lawrence did throw 2 picks in this game. The first one was not great. The second one, tight coverage, tipped, intercepted to end the game. But I think the bigger problem when you look to how this game was lost, it was that Liam Cohen probably leaned on Trevor Lawrence a little bit too much. Trevor Lawrence has been great the end of this season. Obviously played a lot of inferior competition. We know that in second halves, Buffalo's been phenomenal. They've adjusted very well, especially when they've started very slow. But the big thing here is that if you're Liam Cohen, you have to understand that you do not want Trevor Lawrence to go toe-to-toe with Josh Allen, because Josh Allen goes toe-to-toe with Lamar Jackson. He goes toe-to-toe with Joe Burrow. He goes toe-to-toe with Patrick Mahomes. And half the time, he wins those games. right? And you would never tell your quarterback, like, I need you to go toe-to-toe with any of those guys because Trevor Lawrence just kind of isn't on that caliber yet. Now, he did beat Mahomes early in this season at home, but it's just a different game, different environment, and I think the way they're running the football, they kind of did Trevor Lawrence a bit of a disservice by not running it more, controlling the ball, keeping it out of Josh Allen's hands, especially when they couldn't run the football either on Buffalo's side. Every time James could try to cut it back, a defender was there waiting for him off the edge, maintaining.
He didn't get loose at all.
Maintaining that edge every single time. Very disciplined defensively. The Jags played a great game, but Allen was just better. When winning time comes, there probably isn't a better quarterback in the NFL right now than Josh Allen.
No.
He's literally carrying this team every step of the way. And if it wasn't for the fact the Patriots were still in it, I hope that Josh Allen carries them all the way to the Super Bowl. I don't know if they can beat the best team in the NFC. We'll see who that team ultimately is.
Can they beat
the
Denver?
Buffalo Bills.
Can they beat Denver? We'll say. Don't go into it. You think so? Okay.
It's for every reason that they beat the Jaguars, who slapped Denver at Denver.
I know what they did.
I think that the bigger thing for me is that Buffalo should be able to run a bit more on Denver than they could against Jacksonville. And I think
yes.
So when you have a more balanced approach against a team, it makes Buffalo a lot better. Because that's how they beat the Patriots, where they could run on them. But Josh Allen is just different animal,
man.
Different beast.
And he's doing it with
nothing, man.
Cooks and shake. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not
nothing.
And we're not talking.
What would he do with Parker Washington, Ray? Like, honestly,
I mean, he'd be an All-Pro.
It'd be crazy, man.
You give Josh Allen
Shakir, but he's
Josh Allen that P. Wash. I mean, you're talking about the next Puka Nacua out there with Josh Allen, Jay Rich. I mean.
Yeah, I don't even think Joe Brady called a very good game, honestly.
Speaking of Jacksonville, you know who they picked number 2 overall in the draft, right? You know who they picked? Your boy.
My boy, Travis Hunter. Okay. Traded up for him. Traded that 26th first for him.
Well, it's low, so it's a lot lower than they thought. I keep hearing, Jay, that this pretty much solidifies old Hunter. Full-time defensive back in 2026. What are you?
You think so, eh? That's what you're hearing. Parker Washington playing great football.
Let me ask you this. Did it feel like they missed him at all?
Well, that feels unfair.
It is unfair.
Because we never really saw him. We never really saw him integrated.
Did it feel? You know who it felt like was missed? Michael Williams on the D-line in San Francisco. They probably could have used that guy.
For sure.
Probably could have used that Michael Williams out there. Does it feel like offensively that team was lacking something in the receiving game that is on layaway right now? It didn't feel like that to me. Like Washington,
I will say though,
this dude is I talked about him earlier. Jacoby Myers is there. You've got Brian Thomas. He scored a touchdown early in the game. Brenton Strange looks great at the tight end spot. I don't know what's going to happen with ETN, but they probably like Tootin and LaQuint Allen, and you bring in another veteran running back. Where does Hunter fit in offensively on this team outside of a gadget, sporadic offensive, we got a package for you, but we're not running our damn offense through you?
I would agree with you there. He's not missed in a majority target share, move the chains type of role, but I think where he is missed is that you can't not account for him. Right? In the same way you can't just say, Brian Thomas, let him run down the field. We don't got to cover him. I think he's good enough where he has to be accounted for on defense because he will burn you if you don't, right? We've seen that a couple times, even when he was available on the field. I honestly think he's more missed on defense, right? Like, Jordan Lewis got hurt. They could have really used Travis Hunter in the slot to cover up for Jordan Lewis being injured, right? Yeah. And so I think that's where, you know, to your point, he's much more missed defensively than offensively, but I still hope he gets a shot to play a bit of offense.
Yeah.
We'll see, though.
We shall see. I like what they've got. I like the pieces. We'll see if this carries over into next season.
Liam Cohen, man. Claps for Liam Cohen. Phenomenal job, man. Phenomenal job.
Phenomenal job by Liam Cohen this season. All right, Jay, let's take a quick break. And then when we come back, we're going to talk about my boy, Caleb Williams. We'll talk about your boy, Drake May, and I guess we'll talk a little bit about the Steelers-Texans game.
Nah,
fallout.
skip over that game.
We'll skip that one. We'll probably
Philly. We gotta get to Philly, baby.
Oh yeah, we do got to get to Philly. That's the get. Ooh, the drama in Philly. Hit the thumbs up button, like the stream, subscribe to the channel. Be right back after the break. What's poppin'? Welcome back to the show. This is Wake Up with Ray and Jay every Tuesday, every Thursday, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on the channel. Make sure you check out all the other content here on the channel. Last week, I dropped a series that I'm starting with my dog, my brother from another mother, my other brother from another mother. Hey, Pops was a Rolling Stone. Got a lot of brothers from other mothers right here. But Damian Parson over at Bleacher Report, my dog, we talked through this game in particular, the Indiana-Oregon game, but a lot of the draft prospects throughout that. You know, the show's going to evolve throughout the season, Jay Rich. I don't know what the hell DP and I are going to talk about, but it's going to be NFL draft. It's going to be team fit, college football stuff. We've got a national championship game that we've got to get ready for here next Monday. So check out all of our content and my dog DP, who is in the channel right now. Jay Rich, we got to talk. You said Philly and San Francisco. Let's go Philly, San Francisco. I think there are some good storylines out of this one. The Niners, man.
How the hell did they win this game? They bust out all the stops.
Can you hear my sound effects when I'm doing them? Are they loud? Good job,
yes.
San Francisco, because a passing attack led by D-Rob, DeMarcus Robinson, right? Ricky Pearsall, this dude's more healthy with a bullet in his shoulder. Jay Rich, he doesn't play. He's hurt. Can't run around. Can't do shit. Kittle ruptured Achilles tendon. My God, the sky is falling, right? It's over. No way Kyle Shanahan's going to be able to overcome this. McCaffrey, you know they can't run the damn ball anyway, Jay Rich, but they just throw it to him a million times. Kyle Juszczyk, you can't cover a fullback. Kyle Juszczyk, they need to put him at tight end. Throw him the damn ball. Oh, wide receiver one, Kyle Juszczyk. Him and Christian McCaffrey, just the backfield, right? Those two guys. No Fred Warner, no Nick Bosa. Defensively, the game plan, what are we talking about? What did Saquon end up with? Because I think he played well. The game plan
26 for 106 on the ground with 3 and 25 through the air on 6 targets.
I guess it's not enough, Jay. I guess it's not enough. Who do you want to start with? Because all the blame right now is on that man. It's on A.J. Brown right now. It is on A.J. Brown.
Let's start with San Francisco because for me, the San Francisco story is simple. Kyle Shanahan is one of the best coaches in the NFL. And when he has his starting running back and starting fullback catching more passes than the rest of their skill position players in a game, that is great head coaching. That is great offensive play calling. And I thought Brock Purdy played phenomenally, even though he was under pressure, even though the defense was giving him a lot of trouble, even though he threw 2 picks, he kept battling. They kept busting out all the stops. They had the trick plays. They had the reverses. They had the crazy sets. Somehow they got it done against this Philly defense. And what happened? The Philly offense was dead in the water once again. And that's really, for me, all there is to say about San Francisco. They are a great team. Healthy or not, apparently, they are a great team. They're led by a phenomenal head coach. As long as Christian McCaffrey's in the game, they're going to be just fine. And Brock Purdy is, if anything, an underpaid quarterback with how good he's been in the postseason. There was a lot of conversation. Do you extend Brock Purdy? Do you pay him $55, $60 million. He showed you winning a game like this that he is more than deserving of all of that money. Brock Purdy was great in this game. He wasn't at his best. He still made mistakes, but even with all of that, he battled through it all. No George Kittle, no defense basically, and a lot of credit to Robert Saleh as well. A performance like this will get you head coaching interviews once their season is finally over, but I thought all coaches on all parts, San Francisco did a phenomenal job, and the players executed to the best of their abilities. And I think the exact opposite could be said about Philadelphia. Jalen Hurts wasn't good in this game. I thought Saquon Barkley, as you mentioned, did play well and kind of played his role because we know that you can run in San Francisco. But like, as bad as Jalen Hurts was, and I don't think he was very good in this game, the play calling from Kevin Patullo in a gotta-have-it game was absolutely atrocious. A.J. Brown dropping passes, getting into fights with Sirianni on the sidelines, signed jersey for Quinyon Mitchell, basically saying, I'm out of here. Like, this Philadelphia team, we knew exactly what could happen if things didn't go right.
Yep.
And it honestly, Ray, even worse than I expected it to be. Like, this A.J. Brown fallout, it's not quite Antonio Brown's crash out in New York because he didn't walk off the field, but he might as well have. You knew in the middle of this game that he was done. He's had enough. He's voiced his frustrations with the team, with the offense all year long. And especially, I think, for a team when we saw them with Steichen, they were great. Then they go to whoever the hell Johnson, the guy was they brought in. They were terrible. They say, damn, we need an OC. Go get Kellen Moore. They're great again. Then what happens? Another intern or hire Patullo, and they're terrible all year long. Can't get anything going. Can't be consistent. Offensive line injuries kind of reared their ugly head. And Saquon Barkley, A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith basically nowhere to be found. Nowhere to be found. Like, there is no world where this team should not be able to beat San Francisco. San Francisco is a great team.
I'm fucking up everything.
Even with all of that, Philly should be able to beat San Francisco because they were fully healthy outside of Lane Johnson, and they simply have the better roster. But even with all of that, didn't happen.
DP said, should they consider trading A.J. Brown? I see a lot of people in the chat. Kevin said, I was thinking we'd get this Sirianni firing notification.
That's
Adam said, I love AJ. Let me just ask you this. Is it Brown or is it Hurts? Honest opinion. Is it Brown or is it Hurts? What was it? Or was it Patullo? Because didn't AJ Brown have monster seasons with Jalen Hurts when they traded for him in, 22? Yeah. 23.
This is his worst season, I'm pretty sure.
This is his worst year. Like, how did this deteriorate so bad from a team that not only did they win the Super Bowl last year, Jay Rich, they smashed in this. They put their backups in the Super Bowl. Kenny Pickett,
they blew out everybody.
How did it get so bad? And if it is truly, and this is more just football talk with you in the chat, like, how do head coaches not see that the players, and I'm going to use the players as the pegs and the holes as sort of the leadership, right? The coaches, the coaching staff, the play call. How is it so difficult to make the players fit in the right spots? Like, I just don't get it. This is the same damn team. It's the same squad, man. The same damn team. And I think you're right. This was worse than I thought it would be. I mean, they cannot throw the ball downfield. I don't know if it's the play design. The offensive line we know is not great. They haven't been able to run the ball at the level that they have been in the past. But to go this far south, Jay, man, what a disaster. And the changes that probably need to be made in Philadelphia offensively, Patullo's got to go. If AJ Brown is gone, right? And I want people to understand that if he's gone, then that fundamentally changes what Philadelphia needs to do in the draft or through free agency. Because there's no way you go into the season next year with just Devontae Smith and Dallas Goedert. Not a chance in hell. No way. They started to pull snaps from Jahan Dotson. And they talked about it in the game. Hey, we got to get Darius Cooper out there, and he's lining up off sides or illegal for whatever he's doing. How did it get like this with Philadelphia?
I think to answer your question is the simple answer is this is the NFL. This is not college football. This is not, high school football. You can't just do the same thing year in and year out and expect to win every single football game. It doesn't matter how talented you are. If you can't execute, if you can't reinvent yourself, if you can't adjust, you're simply not going to be successful year in and year out in the NFL. And I'll use a very simple example, right? Look at Detroit, right? And we always say, well, why didn't Sirianni step in? Why didn't someone do something in Philadelphia to change things? It's like maybe just no one's capable. Maybe there isn't anyone in the building smart enough to turn things around in Philadelphia. And maybe that's true. But we saw Dan Campbell say, you know what? I don't even know who the OC is in Detroit anymore, because he basically lost his job in like week 8 of the season. And Dan Campbell steps in. It was okay for a few weeks, but it wasn't good enough. It wasn't the level we know is possible from Detroit, because you just can't expect anyone to step in and do what Ben Johnson did. The same way you can't expect someone to step in and do what Sirianni did, right?
I'm not expecting Ben Johnson, but this is incompetence.
But maybe it's definitely incompetence relative to what we've seen, but I think maybe it's just closer to what the NFL norm is than we've come to expect from Philadelphia, right? We've seen, we talk we talk more than a lot of people how good of a job Kellen Moore did with the Saints team this year, right? And it stems off a very successful run with Philadelphia. And it's no different than Steichen with the Eagles, right? Those two guys did phenomenal job with this team. And we've also seen it on other teams, but we're not seeing Brad Johnson do anything, or whoever it was with the Eagles before. Yeah. And we're not going to see Kevin Patullo coaching anybody significantly anytime soon either. But Sirianni's got to do something.
Did you see the meme where Hurts, Patullo, and Sirianni are on the timeout in the huddle? And Patullo,
it looked like Hurts was telling him what play to run on fourth down.
He's looking at him. Sirianni's looking. It's like the spot. Hey, what we doing, baby? That's what you want to call Nick.
That was before.
Hey, Kev, you want to?
That was before the fourth down, wasn't it? That was before the fourth down. And Hurts is like, let's do this, and Patullo's just standing there like, oh.
And then the damn play was a damn dagger in the middle of the field. To Goddard with damn 3 defenders around. Yeah. You're just like
4 verts into cover 4. Let's see if we can hit a hole shot between 3 guys.
Man,
what a play.
Good for San Francisco, for real.
Unreal win.
I know a lot of people aren't going to give them a chance against Seattle because how bad they played. I believe it was the lowest offensive output in any game in Kyle Shanahan's career in San Francisco. They also lost Trent Williams the first play of that game. And despite how bad it was at the end, Seattle only scored 13 points. Seattle only scored 13 points, problem. Right? And I know they didn't have Charles Cross in the game. Cross will be back. San Francisco also game planned for for George Kittle, right? They game planned for a half healthy George Kittle who won't be in this one. I'm not counting San Francisco out. Shout out to Eric Kendricks, who took a lot of heat coming into the game, practice squad player. He's only been around since November. He's the guy that made the game-sealing tip pass. He was all over the field. He made big plays. Salah got his team ready to play, and they got it done, Jay Rich.
Oh, yeah.
Let's move on to talk about I thought just that was the game. Chicago, Green Bay, and Caleb Williams' maturation throughout the season under Ben Johnson, it cannot be understated. This is a true franchise-altering, changing player. And when you have somebody of his skill set and talent, the arm, there's no throw he can't complete. He is incredibly good with his legs. There's always a chance with Caleb Williams. And while it may not be perfect, and a lot of people will point to the completion percentage and things of that nature, Jay, this might be the worst that it looks with Ben Johnson. Like, this is year 1 of this Ben Johnson offense. The running game, I think, can improve. I think Swift and Monunga have been great. It can get better. The offensive line, they invested in the right pieces, from Darnell Washington to Joe Tooney to Drew Dahlman. Give Ryan Poles and this organization some credit, because I think they should be favored in the NFC. Like this is my squad. I think they're going to. We'll save it for Thursday. I think they are going to represent the NFC in the Super Bowl when it's all said and done because of Caleb Williams. I love what they're doing. I know defensively there are holes. This was a big win for Chicago. Home game for them over Green Bay. It was not easy for them and it wasn't perfect. But when you've got a quarterback like this, I'm willing to bet on that guy, Caleb Williams, and his newfound weapon, Jay. And my question to you, how good is this combination of Caleb Williams and Colston Loveland? Like, what could this dynamic duo be? And I know a lot of people are going to go out to Kelsey and Mahomes, but I don't think it's quite Kelsey Mahomes. It's too early to say any of that yet. But can he be, the Jimmy Graham to what Jimmy Graham was to Drew Brees, what Antonio Gates was to Phillip Rivers, what some of those other high-end level tight ends were their quarterback. They hit a home run in the draft with Colston Loveland. They smashed with Kyle Monangai in the damn 7th round, and they absolutely knocked it out of the park with their number 1 overall pick in 2024, Caleb Williams.
Yeah, I mean, that comparison is interesting because I kind of did go to Kelsey and Mahomes, and not necessarily because of Caleb Williams. I think just the way that Colston Loveland plays. You brought up Jimmy Graham. I think he also plays a little bit like Jeremy Shockey is another great one. But I think the biggest thing for me with this team is that, like, people got to remember that Caleb didn't really play that well in this game. And it's kind of what we've seen from him all season. It's this tale of two halves. And the one guy that I want to give a lot of credit to that you didn't even mention is Dennis Allen. Dennis Allen was a cast-off from New Orleans, right? He didn't do a very good job as the head coach in kind of his interim tenure. We knew he could be a great defensive mind, but he held this Green Bay team to 6 points in the second half, and it was really what propelled them to give them a chance to win this game. Obviously, Caleb had to make a ton of plays, and offensively, Ben Johnson did a great job adjusting, but the second half adjustments from this Bears team to outscore the Packers 28-6 is just something that you don't see that often. They adjusted offensively. They adjusted massively defensively. And my question to you is, can they really do this against a Rams team if they get behind 21-3?
I think so, man. And we keep talking about this Rams team like they are invincible. This isn't Mike Martz.
Oh, they're definitely
the greatest show on turf. Defensively, they've got real issues defensively, right? They can't stop shit right now. I mean, Bryce Young, Jalen Coker was out there looking like Calvin Johnson. Ted McMillan could have had a big game, and now they should have fed him more. They had no running, and that's the thing, right? There was no running game at all for Carolina, and they still put up 30 points on that team, taking the Rams to the brink. Ben Johnson, as good as Caleb is, you know what Ben Johnson wants to do? Establish it. He's going to run the damn ball. He's going to run the damn ball. He's going to run the ball. And I do think that they pose significant issues for the Rams defense. The question is going to come down to the mistakes, right? Which quarterback, and we've seen Stafford make mistakes, and when they come in bunches. We've seen Caleb make critical mistakes down the stretch. I think both defenses can be susceptible to some big plays from those quarterbacks, but I absolutely think that that the Bears can win this game. We'll talk more about it on Thursday, Jay, but I got a couple of comments I want to hit, okay? A couple of comments in here. And I understand what Kevin is saying. Kev said, talking about Caleb like this is why I said Mendoza at number 1 is hilarious. Mendoza is nowhere near the talent of Caleb going into a bad situation. That's very true. He is not Caleb Williams, but you know what is also not the same? The third quarterback picked this year is not the same as the third quarterback picked in 2024, Drake May. Like, the class is what it is. It's relative. You can compare it to other years, but that's not what's in this class. You have to look at it amongst itself, and you take the best player. They can only pick the players available, You can only pick the players available in the pool. I can't say, can I swap out this Mendoza for Dylan Raiola or whoever the hell else you want to throw. Arch Manning, right? Arch Manning. Give me that guy. This is what's presented. This is the best of what we've got, and we need this spot. So all of those things can be true. We had another comment here. Rome Odunze being out for weeks opened up the breakout window for Loveland. He stepped up, unfortunate for Rome. The more I think about this situation, I think the receiving core, everybody is excited for this Burden breakout out there running wrong damn routes, having Caleb throw picks. I think the real beneficiary is Colston Loveland. I think they'd be perfectly fine with Odunze and Moore if he's back and Burden all having 800 receiving yards. We don't need one of y'all to have 1,500 yards. That's gonna be Colston Loveland. He's gonna be the one reserved for 1,200 yards. Everybody
he's Trey
else
McBride, right?
Yeah, everybody. He's Trey McBride to this offense. And you look around, they're set up right on the offensive side of the ball. Very impressed by what Ben Johnson has been able to accomplish with the Chicago Bears team. And I'm very much excited for that game on Sunday against the Rams, Jay. Let's, who else do we have? We got one more game?
Yeah, we got the Sunday night stinker, bro.
Oh, no. Yes, we got to talk about your boys. New England, Jay Rich, and Drake May. They got it done over the Chargers and Justin Herbert. You talk about the game because it was kind of like not that exciting, to be honest with you, Jay. It was not
a terrible game.
It was not a very exciting game, but talk about your boy Drake May.
Yeah, I mean, Drake May did enough to win the football game, right? It wasn't an inspiring performance. It wasn't even an MVP level performance. But we do have to remember that the Chargers defense is really good. Like, it's not like this defense is not. I believe they were top 3 in the NFL in yards allowed and points allowed. Yeah. Drake May has not lit up good defenses this year. Like, he just simply hasn't. But I think in the way that they rebounded in the second half, that throw he made to Hunter Henry, like, it kind of reinforced why he is such a good quarterback and why he's so talented. The greatest equalizer for Drake May, and same with Caleb Williams, is kind of like these two quarterbacks, and you can say the same about Jaden Daniels, is their ability to run the ball when plays break down. Now, May still took 5 sacks. He still made some bad plays and had some bad fumbles, but his ability to scramble in key situations is one of the reasons why they were able to score points and stay with the ball. And all the reasons why you love Drake May is because, I mean, Ramondre Stevenson was leading receiver. He hit Kayshon Boutte down the field multiple times. That phenomenal throw to Hunter Henry. Diggs did virtually nothing, and they couldn't really run the football that well either against this defense. So when you can't really do a whole lot of anything, I thought McDaniel did a great job adjusting the second half. I thought they played much better in the second half. Now, the question is can they do that against the Houston Texans? Because it'll be the best defense Drake May's played all year. He didn't play good against Buffalo's defense in the second half, and we know how much they struggled there. So I definitely have my concerns, but the Chargers just pose no threat. In the way that we kind of knew that Pittsburgh was not going to beat Houston very early in that game, it was very evident that the Chargers had nothing to offer against this New England defense. They didn't play that well, but they were able to generate pressure so easily. And whenever they blitzed Herbert, it was just no chance out there for Herbert. He was just getting battered and bruised left and right. He's getting hit in the face. No roughing the passer calls on Milton Williams. But happy to see those boys get after him, and unfortunate for Herbert, but happy to see the boys get it done. What did you think about the Chargers' performance in this game, though?
When is Herbert going to take heat? I've been telling y'all for 3 years on the show. Been telling y'all for 3 different head coaches, 3 different OCs, and the same shit keeps happening.
Can I ask you a question?
Let me just say this.
Can I ask you a question?
This was the knock on Herbert coming out of Oregon. It wasn't his arm. It wasn't the size. It wasn't the athleticism. The knock on Herbert, even when we went to Mobile to the Senior Bowl, he ain't got that dog in him. Ain't got no dog in him. No fight, no dog. When the big game happens, he is nowhere to be found. Kurt Warner, Jay Rich, one of the greatest quarterbacks in NFL history, said, yeah, the offensive line was bad, but Justin Herbert's reluctance and hesitance to stand in the pocket, they said he was bailing early. As soon as anybody got there, he's running around, feet are all bad. I said it every single week on Yahoo with Matt Harmon. I'm just a fan watching the game. And to me, Jay, if my tackles are hurt, if the offensive line is no good, you know what I'm not going to do? Have Herbert 7-step drop every damn drop back. 5-step drop every drop back. Where's the quick game? Where's Oronde Gadsden? Where's the outlet? Where's the running back in the flat? right? It's 4th down. You know what they run?
Play action.
A goddamn play action on 4th and 9. Maybe they're gonna run it. I gotta respect. What are you doing, Greg Roman? Lad, where the hell did he go? Keenan Allen, nothing. I have not. This team fell apart. And I get it. You don't have your offensive line. I get it, dude. But my goodness, Chargers. You got damn Omarion Hampton is now Steph Curry. Both his ankles are destroyed. Both ankles hurt. He can't play. 3 head coaches. 3 head coaches.
Yeah, okay. But this is what I have to ask you. Was this the best loss for Herbert in the playoffs?
No. Hell no.
Because you got the Jaguars loss was really bad.
Dude, he was
and then the
awful.
Houston loss was
Herbert was awful in this game.
But he couldn't do anything.
No.
Is
this the best loss? Hell no.
He still ran for 50 yards, and he was under pressure every time he dropped back to pass.
Yeah.
We knew that he wasn't going to be able to do anything in this game. It was no different than any other game they played. Right? He's not playing Dallas, so he's going to be damned.
Like the comment says, O-line be damned. That wasn't good. He was not good.
It wasn't that good. But it's like, for me, when I look back to his playoff performances, right? The Houston Texans loss was really bad. He threw four or 5 picks in that game. The Jaguars loss was really bad. This one, I think, you kind of saw it coming. Because, unfortunately, they have no offensive line. And Milton Williams destroyed them on 4th and 9 and just ate Herbert alive to end the game.
If all I'm gonna say is if Brock Purdy would have pulled this with with or without Trent Williams, with or without George, if Brock Purdy would have pulled this with Jake Tonjes and his team,
but he did that last week,
and he got eviscerated. If Caleb Williams would have pulled this, Let Bo Nix.
Oh, Bo Nix
it up.
But they have a good offensive line, though.
Let him stink it up to that level. Where's the accountability on Justin Herbert? It's just, I'm
not saying there's no accountability.
Roman. Now it's Harbaugh. Now it's Joe Alt. Now it's this. And the same guy is there at quarterback. When does he take the heat? When does he take the heat?
But people are going to give, people are going to give him heat. But it's like, again, it's no different than the Steelers getting stomped by the Texans. You knew it was probably going to happen because this is just what the team is, right? The Pats defense isn't amazing, but they're good enough to destroy the Chargers offensive line, right? And that's where it's like certain matters you can kind of see it coming.
Has this Pats D-line been great? Has this been an all-world defensive line? I know Milton Williams was back. I know Milton Williams was back.
I told you this. What was this? 3 weeks ago. I said if we get Milton Williams back, it changes the math defensively. And you saw that in this first playoff game. He changes the math for this team. We got Spillane back. We had Landry back. We had Williams back. Those are our 3 key additions in the offseason, and we saw the difference in this defense. Now, Christian Gonzalez, please come back next week, and please, Nico Collins, do not play.
Hey,
2 huge concussions.
Bad. Yeah.
2 huge concussions going into that game next weekend. Nico Collins and Christian Gonzalez both may be unavailable. Does seem like Nico's not going to make it, but hopefully Christian Gonzalez can play.
Scary looking fall from Nico Collins there. There are a lot of people saying that was very reminiscent to the injury that Michael Irvin suffered. I was actually watching that game where Irvin, Old Texas Stadium, when they were playing on damn concrete underneath the turf. Yeah. Jay, hopefully Nico can get better. They're going to need it. Quickly talking about that Steelers-Texans game. Rodgers, is that it? Is Rodgers done? Is that the end of that? The end of the Rodgers run? You think he's done?
I think he's probably done, yeah.
Yeah.
If I'm him, I'm done in Pittsburgh. I don't know if there's another spot for him, but if I'm him, like, man, we tried it. Love you, Mike Tomlin. Very supportive of Mike Tomlin, Matt LaFleur in his post-game presser. But, man, like, this team's just not very good, and they're just going nowhere.
Man.
We all knew at the beginning of the season this team's going nowhere. Lamar's back next season. Burrow's going to be healthy hopefully for the whole year. Maybe the Browns can turn things around. This Pittsburgh's team is awful.
You know what it felt like watching that game at the end? I promise. I was about to tweet it out. I think it might have been week 1. His last year in Green Bay when they played the Saints and they lost, and he just when they
That
were
was
down.
first week. They got
and they were just he was
crushed
just
by
throwing
Derek
picks.
Carr.
Like
Yeah.
you could tell he was just
Yeah.
like, F it, I'm just gonna. It felt like he was just like, F it. I know no one's open. I got to throw to a freaking midget in Calvin Austin. Like I'm just gonna I don't give a shit. I'm just gonna throw the ball.
Yeah.
End of an era, first ballot Hall of Famer, one of the absolute best quarterbacks in the history of the game when he was on his game, playing at 42, leading this Pittsburgh team to the playoffs. But there's probably a lot of changes coming in Pittsburgh in 2026. Jay, we didn't get to talk about the national championship game, but we will do that on Thursday as we preview the divisional round, AFC and NFC side of the ball. Let's hit a little comments before we get out of here real quick. Yeah, Storm said last pick six was rough from Aaron Rodgers. Texas D-line looking like the Eagles last season. I think that's going to be that's going to be a very tough task against that Texans defensive front. All right, Jay, hit the music, man. Hit the music. That's the show. Started off a little rocky, Jay Rich. The intro had us a little discombobulated. The Tuesday show had us a little discombobulated, but we got the ship back on track. We got to get ready for Bleacher Report, but we appreciate y'all pulling up today. I've got a mock draft dropping later today, so check that out with some of the moves and things that have happened over the college football world and the NFL landscape. Jay Rich and I will be back on Thursday. What else we got, Jay? I think prospect profiles are heating up as well. Mekhi Lemon is going to be first up. Jay, I need that Gucci Man lemonade beat for the Mekhi. I've already kind of worked through how the flow needs to go.
All right, so my job is to find a clear for lemonade.
You got to find that clear version of lemonade by Gucci, man. Burr. Appreciate y'all being in the building, man. Sincerely. Appreciate y'all being in the building. Ray, when will we get rookie player? That Luke just asked. When are we going to get the damn player profile? This week, Luke. This week.
Oh.
I'm going to get you the video.
This week.
Okay, had shit to do for about 2 months. And now, this week, they're coming soon. Mekhi Lemon is up first. All right, what else we got in the chat before we get out? Jay, get us out of here, man. Get us out of here, Jay.
Thank you, everybody, for tapping in live. 150 people here on the new channel. We got to get to pump those numbers up a little bit, but we appreciate everybody in the building. Thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you like and subscribe, and we'll see you guys on Thursday for our national championship and divisional NFL preview. We out. Peace.
Peace.